Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. It's time to review the latest slasher film. This is from the director that gave us Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Yes, it is Clown in a Cornfield. That's right, you don't fuck with Friendo.
Y'all ready for this?
Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. Now, Clown in a Cornfield is a 2025 American slasher film. It was directed by Eli Craig. It was also written by Elon Craig and Carter Blanchard. It is based on the 2020 novel of the same name by Adam Caesar. Now, the film stars Katie Douglas, Aaron Abrams, Carson McCormick, Kevin Duran, and Will Sasso. Now, in this film, a fading Midwestern town in which Fendo the Clown, a symbol of bygone success, reemerges as a terrifying scourge. Ooh. Now, horror fans, when it comes to horror movies, there's one villain that filmmakers love to use in their films, and that is clowns. I mean, when you look at it, clowns are supposed to be fun and joyful. When you see them perform in the circus. I mean, everyone loves seeing clowns, unless you have a fear of clowns, that is. They entertain their children with their slapstick antics and humors, making everyone in the audience have a nice time seeing them perform. Now, by using that innocence, you can make a decent horror film, as no one would expect the clown to be a killer or a demon or whatever you want to use the clown aspect in the horror film. I mean, we see that in plenty of horror films, such as Alien disguising themselves as clowns, as killer clowns from outer space. There's the malevolent an ancient entity who takes the form of a clown and calls itself Pennywise in Stephen King's novel and the films and TV shows It. And of course, we have everyone's favorite killer clown right now, Art the Clown from the horror movies Terrifier. There's also plenty of clowns that we see in horror films. I mean, we can't forget the actual demonic creature that takes the form of a clown in a horror film called Clown, and there's others too right now. But yeah, we've always seen plenty of horror films that use clowns. And that brings us to American film director Eli Craig, who brought us Tucker and Dale versus Evil. His latest project and entry to the subgenre of horror, it is called Clown in a Cornfield. Taking place in the fictional town of Kettle Springs, Missouri, we're introduced to Quinn Maybrook and her father Glenn, who are relocating here from Philadelphia after the sudden death of her mother. Oh. Now, after settling into their new home, Quinn is quickly introduced to the local teenage bad group of kids consisting of Cole Hill, Queen Bee Janet, the Jock Mac, his girlfriend Ronnie, and the nerd Tucker. Now, while Quinn is trying to stay out of trouble with her new group of friends, a killer dressed as the town mascot, a clown called Friendo, starts on a killing spree. Oh no! Can Quinn and her new friends stay alive long enough to stop Friendo before he kills them all? That's kind of what this movie is about. Now, to be honest, it's been a while when we had a nice and simple slasher film, and I'll give Eli and his team credit for trying to make a typical slasher film that we saw during the 80s. Now, you have all the pieces in place. He's done a great job of putting all the pieces in place when it comes to slasher horror tropes. We have the nice but tough lead in Quinn. We have the Queen Bee, Janet, the Jock and Matt, the black girlfriend, Ronnie, and the token black guy, Tucker. So he has all the horror tropes in place here. It takes place in a small, isolated town called Kettle Springs. Of course, that town has a terrible incident that took place several years ago. And of course, you have the creepy-looking mascot called Friendo. Now, does Eli and his team succeed in making a good slasher film that we saw during the 80s? I'll tell you about that later. I mean, one thing is for sure, he didn't create anything new or different to make this stand out from all the other slasher films that we've seen during the 80s or in present day right now, or the modern slasher films that we're getting. I mean, It's no different than any other films we saw before. It's definitely not Scream. It's definitely not I Know What You Did Last Summer. But then again, I believe Eli and his team knew what they were doing, and they simply just wanted to make a typical slasher film. Nothing different, nothing outstanding, nothing new, just your typical slasher film that we've seen in the 80s. Now, I've never read the novel that this film is based upon, so I don't know if he or his writing partner, Carter Blanchard, stuck close to the source material here. If anyone had read that novel, let me know in the comment section below. Does he actually stick close to the source material in his film here? No, I do like some of the thing Eli and his team have done here, as I do like the setting. It's a nice setting, looks very nice and quiet. And the film is paced very well, so the audience doesn't get bored. It goes by very quickly. There's no dead spots in the moment right here. There's no changing of the tone once we get introduced to Quinn and her friends, and we get to see how the rest of the cast comes in. And next thing you know, here comes Fendo and his antics. No, I do like some of the kills that happen here. We do get some nice practical effects here. We get some nice blood, but it's nothing that we haven't seen before. The problem that I do have with the film is the characters, is there is no type of character development that would make me, or I believe the audience, hear what happens to them. Now, as I stated earlier, the problem is that they're your standard slasher tropes that we've seen before, and we get to learn nothing about them, other than some of them are just father for Fendo to kill. I mean, I guess we're supposed to care about Gwen, but the script doesn't allow the audience to care enough what happens to her or anyone else that matters. I mean, you would think they would want to explore some of Quinn's background about her relationship with her mother to make us care about her, but I think Eli and his team just want to stick with the standard tropes where we learn nothing about the characters. It's just like, okay, we got the characters in, we got the groups, let's start the killing and forget about any type of character development. I mean, one of the problems, I mean, what makes Fear Street, if you want to talk about slasher films, different from this film is that we actually cared about those characters here. I understand what they were trying to do. It's just that we don't care about them. Now, Canadian actress Katie Douglas, I mean, she's okay as Quinn, and she tries to provide Quinn some good qualities to make a strong lead. But unfortunately, the script does not allow her to do anything, and she's not incredible. And I think she doesn't have the experience to bring any more life than what she does in the script itself. I mean, the same goes for the rest of the cast. They're just playing their roles that the script calls for them. And even though Eli tried to throw a monkey wrench when it comes to one of the characters, which I thought was a bit fascinating, to be honest, and let's say, well, at least he's trying, but it's simply just not enough to elevate the film. Well, it's nice to always see veteran actor Kevin Durant, but he is wasted in this movie, as his role is just as cliche as the others in this film. Now, when it comes to Fendo, despite the creepy looking mess, he is the type of threat that you would need in order to make a slasher film enjoyable. I mean, if you're going to create a slasher film where obviously you don't have strong enough characters, you at least want to have the villain be the main focus of the film, and he has to be good enough in order to carry the film. And unfortunately, Fendo doesn't do anything exciting in order to carry the film. And that really comes into play during the third act, where we see what the motivation is for the killing and the reveal who Fendo is. And I wasn't at all surprised. Now, I think if I get what Eli and his writing partner Carter were trying to do, there is a scene that takes place during the third act that actually did get some good laughs in this particular film when it comes to Quinn. I believe Quinn and Janet. There's an incident that happened that takes place right around the third act. If I won't spoil it for anyone, but if you understand, but if you saw it, you probably know what scene I'm talking right there. What I believe that kind of is what the whole point that Eli and Carter were trying to do, but they don't do a good enough job to bring that out in the film. And as a matter of fact, it's the only time we get to see that aspect of the film. And while it is funny, it's just not enough to rise this film up. Now, I'm sure some people might enjoy this film. I'm pretty sure some people do enjoy it. I did see some people actually did enjoy this particular film on their thumbnails. But for me, it's just an average at best slasher film. It has some decent kills and some practical effects, but the script is very weak, and we have some very lackluster performances, especially when it comes to Fendo, who is about as the most as lackluster villain I ever seen in a slasher film. So I'm going to give Clown in the Cornfield only two of the Miser's bloody gold coins. It's only two. Like I said, it's not bad. I've seen worse slasher film than this one, but like I said before, if you're going to do a simple slasher film, you really should try to make your villain be more credible, more violent, other than what we get with Fendo here. If they were going to try to create another horror icon, they failed it right here. Because trust me, he is definitely not. He's definitely not Art the Clown. He's definitely not the clown in the horror movie Clown. As a matter of fact, I'd rather see the killer clowns in outer space than to see Fendo come back here. So there you have it, horror fans. That is my video and review of Clown, Clown in the Cornfield. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, and share. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Have you seen Clown in the Cornfield? What do you thought about it? Did you actually enjoy it, Fendo? Please leave a comment in the comment section below and tell you what you thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button, ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put up new videos such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Money G, and always remember that horror rules. And I see you in my next video. That guy, stay safe out there.